Good evening, everyone. This is Gil with Camppatton Family Compound. I got with me tonight Tammy at Rebel Canners and Mark from Chef Tech. And welcome to the Monday Night Fireside Chat. And tonight's topic is first time water bath canning. So it's going to be a lot of information for everybody. And so here we are, and we're going to get on this as soon as we say hi to everybody out there. So let me look up here and let's see. So first one in today was Phelan Clan Wolf, followed by Walt Rogers, and Chef Tech said hi. Said he took a bath for the first time in years. And the mother garden. Yeah, the EPA's going nuts trying to clean up that water. I'm sorry. All right, Mother Garden Club is here. Ada Neer is here from across the pond. And Mark's also doubling in with Mad Chick Acres, his other channel.
Hey, is it possible to have a super fun site named after you?
Yeah. Yeah, there's the Bechtel Super Fun site.
No, I meant a person.
And Bechtel too.
Yeah.
All right. See, Kaylin Strain is here. Diana Two's in the house. Everybody's talking. Moon Over Miami's here. Angels Homestead is here. Tammy Harder's in the house. All right, got a question right off the bat. I'm going to pop it up here in just a second. So we got also Geeky Gardens here, and CB at Hugo Homestead's watching it over on my Facebook account, the Gil Patton one. So Jay asked a question right off the bat: how many people can water bath? Well, I'll put it this way. Water bath canning was what the whole family did from my first remembrance up until I was in my late teens. In fact, out of high school before my mom got a pressure canner. Yep. So they water bath everything. Well, and Susan Glay came in on your side.
More people actually water bath can than what pressure can, because even the people who pressure can also water bath high acid foods. So literally, there are people that don't own a pressure canner that water bath, and then everybody who owns a pressure canner also water baths. So it's a high number.
Yeah, this is going to be water bath related here in a second. I went and pulled the trigger about 2 hours ago and bought an 8-quart crock pot. Because that little one I have, I can't put 5 pounds of ground beef in it and add all the taco seasoning and the pint of beef broth to it. It all won't fit in. I got to do half and the other half. Well, I'm going to do it. I got that. It's coming on Thursday. So Friday, I'm going to be I'm going to be putting the hamburger in there, getting it all done, and then I'm going to water bath can it, because where this here is sitting, I have a pot of water boiling for about 6 hours a day just to get steam and moisture into the room. So if I'm going to be boiling the water for 6 friggin' hours, I'm going to water bath beef.
You're going to water bath beef? You better stick around it and make sure. Well, I'll let Tammy go down that road.
Well, hey, I'll put it this way. As much as I'll be in and out with the kids here, the grandsons and stuff, in and out of the kitchen, I'm hungry. I'm walking in all the time checking it. Like, more water.
Yeah. Keep that 1 inch headspace.
Yeah. And so I'll have where the pressure canner is right now, I'll have just a pot of water, just boiling water, just to get a simmer to add to the water bath for the long time. But yeah.
Why don't you do that laundry trick all over your house like you told us about, where you you hang the wet towel over the vent that's blowing dry air out.
I am.
Laundry and moisten the house.
I am, but it's been so friggin' lack of moisture outside, and so lack of moisture inside, and is so like in the Jack and Jill bathroom here between the two bedrooms, there's a towel rack right above on the wall above the one vent. So get it there, bring it out just enough so it's not dripping, hang it up there. Got one thing in the master bedroom, do it in there. Yeah, so I do that all the time, but it's still not enough to get the because when the kids go in and out, all of a sudden all that moist air goes, and the cold air comes on the dry air comes in the bottom, and yeah.
And I did my part here today. I cooked in the Instant Pot. I made a great big pork roast with all the veggies in the Instant Pot. So lots of steam in the house.
All right. Okay, Moon over Miami's back. He's saying hi to everybody. And wrong one. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And who's trying to remember. Someone just had the about middle of the summer, they completed work on her new barn dominium, the Amish did. And they actually invited her into their house a couple days ago because they had someone back out. They built these sheds and people backed out. And she put it on.
Saw it.
Yeah, and she put it on her account, and boom, they were sold. Both sold. They both went to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, or something like that.
North. They went north.
Went north from them. Yeah, and so they invited her in.
Yeah, she sold two $3,200
$3,200 sheds.
Yeah.
If it's Amish built, I would like to get a $3,200 shed here.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So yeah, but there was that, and then someone else was talking about catching. Was able to got permission to video them canning outdoors, not in the house, but outdoors.
Yes.
All right. Let's see here. I want to go switch over to here first, real quick. I got a couple pictures to share. Okay, so we're all familiar with these black and white speckled pots.
Graniteware.
But the aluminum ones, sort of like I have right there, if you can get the rack for it, you can water bath in any pot.
Yep.
And that's the simpler way. If you can get a rack, it makes it simpler. You don't have to have a rack.
If you have a pot the same diameter, if you have a pressure canner, which I have a few, and you have those spacers in the bottom, I bought the small spacers, the 10-inch spacers that I don't use in a pressure canner because I have two pots that they fit in. I water bath in like multiple pots, and they're just stainless steel pots. As long as you keep them off the bottom and keep the water over the top and throw a lid on top of it, you're good.
Yeah. And so
you got to be able to have an inch above the jars.
Yep.
You can use a spaghetti pot for that matter, as long as you have an inch above the jar and then extra room so your boiling water doesn't go out all over your kitchen.
And so you also, besides a pot, you're going to need jars.
Yep.
And lids. You see what I'm doing here, Tammy?
Yes.
Just a big thing. I am not associated with Suburb.
She is.
I am. If you'd like a discount on those, use the code RebelCanners10, and the website is underneath every single one of my videos.
Hey, how well do the Superb, and this is a legitimate question for me, not a sales question. How much better do the Superb rings hold up over multiple uses versus the ball ones? Because I got some ball ones on my wide mouths. I reused them like twice. They're shot. They get all corroded inside. I can't clean them anymore, and I got to throw them out because they don't screw on nicely anymore. They're all crusty and crunchy, and you can't get that finger tight on there because there's too much friction elsewhere.
I've only been using them for 2 years, but I haven't had one corrode yet. And I reuse them all the time.
Do they sell just rings?
No.
Okay. Well,
Do you need?
I guess they sell the ring.
Would
the
you?
ring
Do
lid
you
combo.
need just rings? Because I mean, I have multiples extra. I
like-
could send you.
Like, well, no. If you can talk to somebody at Suburb, I need like 60 of them because I've thrown more rings out because I did a lot of wide mouth jars, and I pretty much threw every ring out when they came out. I'm like, I can't use these again. They're just corroded, and it wasn't a high acid thing I was doing. I mean, really high acid, but actually, no, I pressure cooked them. It was all pressure canning for my my chicken stock, and they just look like crap. And I'm like, I can't use these anymore. And I pulled them out of boxes. They're all corroded and that. Now, I know I usually, when I'm done with rings and that, if they're still in good shape, I'll put a little bit of mineral oil on a rag just to get it sort of soft, and I'll wipe the rings down with mineral oil. That'll keep them from, if there's any moisture left, they won't rust, corrode, or anything. And I can just chuck them in a box and not worry about it. I didn't do that to a bunch of them, but they were already on their way to oblivion anyway.
Yeah.
I find the Superb rings also thread better. They, you know how like sometimes you get a ring that just wants to spin.
Yeah, you put one you put on there, it only goes like a turn maybe, and it's tight. And the other ones you spin like 4 times before it gets snug. Yeah.
Right. I find that the ball ones are not staying snug like they used to.
No, they're crap. It's like the thread. It's like they open up or something, and they're not as
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hint at something, people. So here's the hint. They come in. The ball lids are coming, or rings are coming in a cargo container.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
All right.
I know.
I made the mistake. I'm gonna go off topic for just a second. I made the mistake of ordering something from Temu. I ordered fermentation lids, and while we're on the subject, the lid that came in my fermentation kit does not even fit on a ball jar.
Ooh.
It's supposed to be a largemouth lid. It will not thread on it, and it sits on the jar this way instead of this way.
That was a third-hand press die that they used that they bought from somebody who bought it from Ball way back in the day, and it's worn out.
Don't buy anything related to lids or rings
Outside the U.S.
Yeah, that's why I like Superb. They're all U.S. made, totally manufactured right here in Sugar Creek, Ohio, packaged in Sugar Creek, Ohio, mailed out from Sugar Creek, Ohio. They're not, over here, over there, on a cargo ship, anywhere.
They have a store there, right?
Further. Huh?
They have a store?
No, they have a website. They are in.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Oh, they're in every hardware store now. They're in.
A lot of Ace Hardwares are carrying them.
I did send you a picture. They had Superb lids at the Mennonite store I go to and buy all my stuff cheap. That's right. I forgot about that.
All the Amish stores carry them. Any store that carries Walnut Creek foods. So almost all of your health food stores across the United States carry them. And Azure Standard carries them. So you can have them delivered to your house. You never have to leave home to get them.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Next one here. Tools. I grabbed the one that had measurements on it so people could actually see what stuff is.
You also grabbed the one that has the black plastic ones made from recycled electronic devices.
Yeah. But that's just because they had the measurements on it. I was going to say, if you get the my grandmother used a lot of used wooden and stainless steel spoons.
Yep.
And for it, the rubberized coating on my grandmother's one, which my sister took, was real Goodyear rubber from back in the 50s.
It's hard to buy them separately, but I will tell you that there are only 2 items there that you wouldn't have in your kitchen that you need. That is a good canning funnel, and stainless steel is best, and a jar lifter. All the rest of that stuff you do not need.
No.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, no, I mean, these tong-like things, I use those for picking hot dogs out of the boiling pot of water for the grandkids.
Now, the magnetic lid lifter, I use mine. Because if I got them
But
in
you don't-
boiling water, I'm not sticking my fingers in there.
But I don't do anything that's under 10 minutes. If it's above a 10-minute processing time, you don't have to boil your lids. In fact, Ball says not to boil their lids. And
Well,
Yeah.
I don't boil that. I have a theory behind, we'll call it preheating your lids. I'll get my water boiling, and I'll take a cup out of it and dump it in a bowl that has my lids in there just to clean them a little bit. So my theory is the rubber will soften up a little bit in there. So when you put it on your jar and then put your ring down finger tight, you actually have a little more seal and a little less chance of siphoning or leakage. That's my theory. And I've always done it. I don't care if I'm water bathing or pressure canning. I still heat my lids up. I don't heat the rings. I don't feel a need to.
Yeah.
You know.
I have, unfortunately, I have a bunch of lids besides the Superb lids I have gotten. I have a bunch of lids that my mom bought in 1971.
Lids or rings?
Lids.
Yeah, they may still work. They may still work.
They will, but I have to put them in boiling water for a couple of minutes first.
Oh yeah, because that rubber's
good, that good hard rubber.
Yep. Well, that's what Superb does now. They put a better rubber on there than Ball does. Ball lids are terrible now.
And okay, so here you go. Everything is green, not black ABS in here. Of the Superb / American canner combination you can get. You can get it from either place.
I do want to point out that you can use your pressure canner as a water bath canning pot.
Yes.
Just don't clamp it down and put the weight on it. It just boils.
Well, then you're using it as a steam canner without So
I still put my water above an inch above, and I just drop the lid on there, and I don't clamp it down. I just leave the lid on there with no vent cap, so the steam is coming out, but I'm still boiling at probably 213 because it probably generated 1 psi of pressure just because of the weight of those lids.
Yeah. But it also you'll get water condensing on the lid and dripping back down in the pot to boil, so you're not having to add as much water as often.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So that's what I wanted to share those pictures for those that haven't done water bath canning. And I forgot to put it up here. Dang it. There it is, the banner. Yeah, share it. If you have someone who's thinking about water bath canning, hopefully tonight's will be something for them, information that some channels don't talk about. But yeah, you can use regular stock pot or the pressure canner to can in.
Yep.
One of the things now right here, you see this little cake. Yeah, I got this little rack thing, wires on it.
Yep.
And
That's a microwave convection oven rack. I have like 20 of them.
Yeah. Oh, and I got the regular round cake cooling rack. Those work inside the pots to put the jars on if you don't have the rack.
They may rust over time if they get scratched through the chrome, but the rust doesn't get inside your jars. It just stains your pot.
And if you get the good stainless steel cake racks, it's all stainless steel, so it's not chrome covered.
So Tammy, if I don't have a stainless steel rack or an aluminum pan or something, what can I use on the bottom of my just regular pot underneath my jar?
A hand towel. Just put a hand towel, fold it, put it down there. It's just to cushion the jars and give it some space so you can have some water flow. So you can do that, or you can take your rings and some zip ties or bread ties and make a little
trivet.
6 or 8 of them. Make a circle of trivet. Thank you. You can use your trivet. If you got one for your stove, just put that in there under it.
If it's cast iron, it might rust a little bit, but yeah.
I mean,
it's a trivet.
Just don't use anything plastic. No plastic.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I think the goal is to keep your jars from touching the bottom of the pot directly to transfer the thermal heat, which will crack your jar.
Yes.
And I've read another article on that too. But first, Swaffer Homestead has joined us. Glenn at How to Garden has joined us as well. So one of the things I was reading about was that with the way a pot water boils and you get like that, if you have jars sitting on it, they can start vibrating.
Yeah, they can bang against each other.
Yep, they do that in a pressure canner all the time.
Yeah, but it'll sit there and they'll start. I know, even you have just one jar in there, it can vibrate enough where it'll crack the jar because it's bouncing, trying to get the air out from under it, where it's boiling.
Oh yeah. Hey Tammy, if I don't have enough jars to fill it up, how do I keep my jars of food from flipping over if there's like not enough jars in there?
Just add an empty jar and fill it with water.
Well, can I use that water for anything?
Yes. You can use it for lots of things. If it's sterile water, you can use it for wound dressings, first aid. You can take it camping, open it up. You can put it on your shelf. You got an emergency jar of water. You don't have to worry about it being contaminated.
What if I throw a super clean small terry cloth in there? I think I'm going to throw gauze in there, but I can can that too. That's sterilized. That'll sterilize that and keep it on my shelf for just in case.
Yep. Oh yeah. I want to go back for a minute and talk about boiling, because a lot of people, when the first time canners, don't understand, and a lot of people when they cook spaghetti don't get this. Boiling is not when you see the first bubble. The boiling, when you start your time, you want a heavy rolling boil. You don't want just a bubble here and a bubble there and a bubble 10 minutes later. You want a full rolling boil. That's when you start your time. So some people don't understand what boiling is.
So if the water's boiling, I put my hot pack jars in there, but the water stops boiling, I wait till it comes back to a boil.
Yes. Then you start your time. Yes.
What if it stops boiling? What if something happens and it stops boiling in the middle?
Then you have to start your time over.
Okay.
Yep.
You know why I'm asking these questions, right?
I know. You know. You're just you're testing me, but I'm
not testing you. I'm just
making. And you're also asking the questions that first timers should be asking. And I know you're not a first timer.
Hang on here. Which one is I'm trying to pick out which one I want to make large.
The one on the right, all the way to the right top line. There you go. Well, that's a small pot, but yeah, that's a rolling boil.
There's a rolling boil.
That is not a rolling boil.
No,
that's about 195.
That is a rolling boil.
That is a rolling boil.
Because the water's rolling. That's what they call a rolling boil. It's
sort of
moving the water around.
When you make jelly, you bring it to a boil, but they tell you a boil that you can't knock down, which means if it's boiling and you stir it with your wooden spoon and it stops boiling, you knocked it down.
Yeah.
That means it's not at the point yet where you have to start your time for everything, all the reactions to take place. So then when it's done after whatever period of time.
And that's the number one reason why people's jelly fails to gel or set up, is because they didn't actually bring it to a boil and keep it at a rolling boil.
Yeah, hard
for
boil.
the time. They started counting the minute they saw the first bubble in that pan. Oh, it's boiling. And
I don't want to burn it, so let's start now. Yeah.
Yeah, and they didn't. That way, it doesn't get up to temperature and it doesn't get the proper time. So.
Hey, well, not for nothing. Sweet tart cherry syrup is great on pancakes if it didn't harden up.
It's true.
Yes. Well, same thing with if your grape jelly doesn't set up, it's great on top of ice cream.
Oh yeah.
I was just gonna say grape syrup, not so much, but it's not. Yeah. Grape syrup's not going on my pancakes. Strawberry syrup can go on my pancakes and waffles.
Strawberry, blueberry, cherry, sure.
Grape is better for, grape is also good for mixing in for making a milkshake, making it a what's called a purple cow.
Yes. You can also take that jelly that doesn't set and mix it with seltzer water or carbonated water and make your own soda, which is also very good.
Yeah. Yep. And Gray Wolf Outdoors Homestead is here, coming in on your side, Tammy.
Thank you.
If he asked the question, then we answered it for him without even reading it.
Yeah. Yeah, we're covering it, trying to cover everything for Betty. Oh, Mother Earth. I have choke berry syrup for pancake. Oh, okay.
Ooh, I love choke cherry. I was
I have
very
no
upset.
idea what a choke berry is.
Choke cherry is like a wild cherry, very tiny
Oh,
wild
okay.
cherry.
I have
But
a
it has-
I have a decorative or whatever they call ornamental cherry tree in my yard. There's no salt and there's no liquid really in the cherries, but when they dry out, oh, I got every bird in the world coming to my backyard, eating them fermented, and half of them will actually sit on a fence and fall off the fence because they're drunk.
Okay, choke cherries though are also really good purportedly. I cannot give you medical advice. This is not medical advice. This is just anecdotal personal experience for coughs.
Really? I
Yes.
should get you some.
Yes.
we should get Gil some.
I have some cherry bark. I'm going to make some cherry bark syrup here. I don't know what I did with my dried elderberries. Cannot find them. I had them. Now I cannot find them. So I have to go get some more.
Yeah, I was doing good with my cough for the last several days. I mean, it's like the last live stream, I only had one cough drop because my throat was getting dry from all the talking. But I went to Idaho Falls today, so I was in Winco and Sam's Club. Sam's Club was a friggin' zoo.
Oh.
Yeah.
I went into Myers
said
today.
He'd love to see my birds. I think I have a video somewhere of one of the squirrels. I used to have an apple tree, and they would hit the ground and they would ferment. And I had a video on one of my old phones of a squirrel eating the apple. And he just couldn't walk straight. He was just like looking at the tree to go to and was like 8 yards to the right and kept looking at the tree and going the wrong way. And it was a terrible video, but I was laughing my butt off the whole time. Like, honey, look, the squirrel's drunk.
My daughter's apple tree over there. They prune it a little bit, but they don't take care of it and they don't thin it during the year. So it gets all these small apples on it and they all fall. And then I would probably say about 3 weeks ago is when the deer start coming in to eat the apples off the ground.
Apples will get, deer will get drunk too if they're slightly fermented, especially the not the does, the little ones. Anyway, the fawns.
Yeah. One of these times I'm going to go ahead and get a hunting license, take my bow over there and just wait for it and just it'll be so drunk it won't get the adrenaline rush, so the meat will stay good.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I cut up a 50-pound blue Hubbard squash yesterday and put it in the freezer, and I threw all the skins, and I had a hard time peeling it, so there's a lot of squash left on it. I threw all the skins out into my pathway soil bank in the garden.
There you go.
And you know where the squirrels were this morning?
Digging up your pathway soil bank.
Yeah, they were out there chewing on the squash rinds.
So cut those squash into giant chunks and roast them in the oven. Then you don't have to peel the squash. Then you just scoop out the goodness, throw it in jars, and can it that way.
I actually cubed it into 1-inch cubes. I was going to can it. But do you know how hard it is to cut up a 50-pound squash in one day?
Yep.
And so after so much effort, and it was about 6-7 o'clock at night, that baby went into 4 1-gallon bags. 3.5 1-gallon bags.
Deal with it later.
Yeah, it's next year's problem. I think I'm gonna do a butternut squash soup recipe and can that with it.
Okay, hang on. I got to get this up here. What you need is the Hanzo Atori samurai sword from Kill Bill.
Yeah. Sure. Right
have-
after a piece of the squash comes off, 4 fingers go flopping around on the ground.
No, they two-handed all the time.
Yeah, whatever.
I have a sword from Spain that is sharp and does do that. It lives under my bed, but I did not use it. I will not use it on my 50-pound squash. I want it to stay sharp and nice. but I do
just in
have
case
I can't
you
think
need
of the name of it. It's a hot starts with an H. I don't know. Somebody sent it to me from Spain.
Yeah. Oh.
Thank you, Jim.
But, yeah. So I'm just okay. I'm just looking at the side chat here.
Off topic, Tammy, did you save the seeds?
Yes, I did.
There you go. Okay,
Yes,
next
did.
topic. That's all I worry about is the seeds.
But there's so many. I think like half of them I'm going to save. They're not doing the seed swap this year here.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Go plant them in places that aren't yours, like on the side of the road and places they don't cut. Come on.
Guerrilla gardening. Guerrilla gardening.
Coming up. Do guerrilla garden. I guerrilla garden on my in an area that is a trail.
Yeah.
That is
just
a
walk along, throw seeds
space
out there or plant it so the squirrels can't find it.
Yeah.
And let them grow. And then you can walk around later a year next spring and be like, people would be like, why are these giant squash growing in the trees?
Yeah. Why do you think they have these elderberry and raspberry and black raspberry and blueberries all along that trail? And black walnuts all along that trail.
The birds poop them.
The little bird planted them.
Yeah. Bird poop planted. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, and echinacea. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly, Gray Wolf.
I actually had to ask her that because I like to see her smile and go, why, yes, I did. All of them.
It's a huge plate of it. I will get it. I'll show you.
Yeah.
That's why I saved all the seeds from all my tomatoes when I processed them raw. I didn't cook them first. I ran it through the mill, saved all the whatever pulp came out, skins, and the seeds. I probably have a couple 100,000 tomato seeds in the freezer in seal bags. So in the spring, I will go out to the property I will thaw them out, and I will be throwing seeds all around my 4-acre field. It's all woods around it. I just want to do it for the heck of it. Of course, it'll probably come back to haunt me in 5 years when I got tomatoes growing everywhere. Ooh. There you go.
It's about an inch thick on this paper plate. Full plate.
Very nice.
Right. Cool. Now,
I thought about making some pumpkin seeds out of them to eat, but then I didn't because I got tired.
All right. Time to redirect your back.
Yep, back to canning.
Back to water bath canning.
Water bath canning.
In my opinion, my limited experience, the easiest thing to water bath.
You froze.
Was pears.
Oh yeah.
Pears?
Pears.
They're high acid.
It was easier than the blackberries we used to can for as a kid. I mean, growing up, 6 years straight, when I was living out there with my grandmother, it was canning blackberries the entire time. And when we moved back there in 75, we were still canning for the next 8 years, canning blackberry jam. All the cousins would come over to go through, and they'd go through to start picking, and we'd be mashing, several people in the house mashing and mixing, and 2 pots going on the stove, and just constantly making jam. But the pears was
Grandma had to feed all those kids.
Well, at this time, after 75, I was the second to youngest, and the oldest was 11 years older than I was. So I'm 17, and the other ones are married with their little kids coming over.
Exactly. That's a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Come on.
Oh, I mean, we probably would do up, a couple 100 quarts of blackberry jam over the weekends. But to me, that's one of the easy things to do. I'm going to put I don't know, I may do it live in there on it, just let it go, and after I get the jars into the can or water bathing the taco meat. Add a little water to it.
Just add a whole lot of water to it, as long as it doesn't stop boiling. Keep it. See, this is where you need. Tammy would say this. You need another pot of water boiling, because if you add tap water to your boiling water, you just shut your boil down and you're starting all over again, especially on a 3-hour meat water bath.
Yep. Always have the tea kettle on the side with extra water so you can top it off.
He's got 2 burners, so you can keep one. Fill your pressure canner up with water and get that boiling. That way it doesn't lose a lot of steam, and then you can just dump it into your big pot.
Well, that's what I'll do is I'll have the water bath canner on that one, and I'll have the another pot over there on this one, and I have some real, okay, here we go. Harbor Freight sells a 4-pack of stainless steel pots that fit one inside the other. The smallest one is about 1.5 gallons. And so I'll have that boiling as well. I'll just get the you put the UGG gloves on and pick it up and just put it right back down. It'll be boiling water.
Yep. And you can add more water to that one, knock the boil, bring it back to a boil, and you're good. I don't need to buy pots and pans at Harbor Freight anymore. I think I'm pretty well set.
Yeah. I still got 2 sets I bought for the Scouts that they decided they didn't want. They used the other four sets making patrol boxes. And the other ones, they go, no, we don't need those. We got enough, so it's like, okay. And so I still got, 2 sets that are in their boxes, brand new still.
All right. What's next on your water bath agenda list?
Let's see. We got, so your high acid stuff.
Yep.
For the short time is tomatoes, jams, jellies. Take it away, Tammy.
Fruits, fruit juices.
Any kind of pickled item.
Yeah, pickles.
With vinegar in it. Yep.
Hang on, I'm trying to get it open here. Boom, there we go. Gonna open it up here under the screen here. Since my latest update from Mr. Gates, my computer takes a long time to open some things up. It's just, and I wasn't able to get in there before when I bought it I couldn't find the way I could on all the other versions of blocking uploads, updates. So, all right. So, there it is. So, looking at this is for the 1945. I like pulling this up just because it's fun.
Yes, it is.
And it's not wrong.
Yeah. The only thing that's changed in it is the times for canning fish.
Yeah, well, I would never, ever, 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 ever water bath seafood, period. I won't even pressure can seafood unless it's like clam chowder. That's about it.
So we have kettle here, which is, and then we got we get into the fruit juices. And so, but any good canning book will have everything you need for your water bath times and stuff for all the water bathing, for juices, everything else, and everything like that.
If it is your first time water bathing or first time canning, and you're starting with water bathing, always go and buy a Ball Blue Book post 1970. So something in the 1980s, or you can go to get a used one, but try to find something 1980s or newer, because nothing's changed since the late 70s. So, as far as the guidelines.
if you live near the Amish and you have them give you their times, those times haven't changed in
forever,
100 and some odd years,
or more,
150 years.
So people in Europe, which we don't have Jaffam on here tonight, but Europe, they don't have really, pressure canners are cost prohibitive in Europe. Yeah. So they water bath everything over there. And they always have, and they have no issues over there. But in the United States, we got 3-letter agencies saying.
In Australia, just to get a pressure canner shipped to them, to buy it, and get it shipped is over $500.
Jeez.
Small one.
Yeah,
And that's for
not
a
a big one.
that's for a $59 Presto. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And
Yeah,
so
not a $400 All American cost you $1,000.
Yeah.
A lot of countries outside of North America do not pressure can because they have no access to pressure canners. So they're all still water bathing.
I think we should move to Australia and start the all Australian pressure canner company, not the all American. But we'd have to buy their rights and move it over there.
Yeah, I think you would probably get sued for good cause.
Well,
not if they funded it.
You make a deal with All American to be a subsidiary down there.
Right. A subsidiary of All American. This is the All Australian pressure.
Yeah. I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, I know. Neither would I. But it's fun to think about.
Well, if Darren wasn't moving back up, if Darren wasn't moving up here, getting all his paperwork and moving up here to get married, you know, that would have been someone to do it because he's one of your moderators.
Yes. Well, he's my moderator because he lives on the other side of the planet, so he's awake when I'm asleep. But now he's going to be moving to over here in my same time zone. This is not helpful, Darren. But I know that your wife wants you here, so.
Yeah.
So what else we got?
I'm just saying, so like you were saying, they water bath everything over there. Up in Canada, they still do it. They get the pressure canners up there, but it's still more people water bath old school up there. I know. Shadow Scout Sweet is saving up money to buy a All American.
Is he really?
Yes, he's saving up money. He says he's probably got another year or two to go.
I should literally, because I got an extra $9.25 here. I should literally take it down, he'll give me his address, and take it down and see how much it costs to ship it to him. I'd send it to him at shipping cost, just for him to have one.
Yeah.
And extra parts, like a couple extra gauges and weights and pins and things, just in case it gets lost in the mail, or not lost, but something breaks and he can't get the parts. So, hey, Tammy, yes. I did this a long time ago. Wife and I, when we first got married, decided we wanted to make these garlic dill pickles. So we got whole picklers. I literally had a brand new green scrubby pad. I scrubbed them down real well in whatever our chlorinated water was in the city we lived in. Put them in jars. I put in fronds of dill and whole pieces of garlic and that. But it was in a gallon jar with the orange rubber lid and the clamp down on it. We made our vinegar water solution with salt or whatever, boiled it, poured it in a jar. Didn't water bath it. We just poured it in there, cranked the lid down. It sealed up. I mean, we put it in the fridge after a week. And
those are fermented pickles. Those are not canned pickles.
Even though I boiled them.
And they're yes.
I didn't boil the pickles. I just boiled the brine. So that's fermented. Okay, so
But you need to make sure there's a different. Just a minute. There's a different salt to vinegar to water ratio if you're going to do a ferment than if you're going to do a canned pickle. So
I didn't think fermenting used vinegar.
Yes, they can.
Oh, okay. So I accidentally fermented.
It's almost I would almost, for lack of a better term, they're almost open kettled, and you'll see a lot of recipes that say pour the boiling syrup over your pickles and seal, which means just put the lid on and tighten it down.
Right. And that's pretty much what we did.
And so they basically are almost an open kettled. But yeah, if you're going to leave them out on the counter for any given time, you can also make refrigerator pickles.
Well, we've done that. I mean, I've done that many times.
So
another thing we did was we put
the ratio of water to vinegar to salt are different for those recipes. And you need to
maybe it was a recipe we used. We just didn't know it was a fermented pickle.
Yeah, you just have to make sure you're using the right recipe for the right method you want to use. And that confuses a lot of newbies. So that's a good
We also did some bread and butter pickles, which I guess I open kettled them because after we made the pickles and added the brine and did all that stuff, my mom's recipe, I didn't submerge them in water and boil them. We literally put them in. We had like a shallow chicken fryer, and we just had like a couple inches of water in there and put the jars in there, and we didn't cover it. We just let it boil for a while.
That's steam canning. Now,
but there was no cover. But there was no cover on it.
Doesn't have to have a cover on it for steam canning. You just have to have the jar in the steam. And the time for steam canning is almost always the same time as water bath canning.
Oh, that explains why one of those jars of bread and butter pickles lasted 7 years.
Yes, because you canned it.
And still tasted okay. Yeah. I had no idea. This is before I really got into canning or anything. Yeah. I just figured, we can do this. I'm a chef. I can do whatever I want. And kind of made it up on the fly. And it worked. And I'm like, okay, now I know why it worked. But I had no idea back then.
Do not try this at home, newbies. Do not follow that. Do not do that. This is a do not do.
I was the pre-rebel, which is why I joined your page at some point going, well, hell, I've been doing that for years.
Yeah. But fortunately for you, steam canning is for high acid foods is the exact same time as water bathing the same high acid food.
Oh, that works because they all sealed and yeah.
And steam canning is one of those things that you'll read different things about whether it's approved, it's not approved. This week it can be approved, next week it isn't. Wait a minute, the following week they started it back up and it's approved again.
Yeah, so somebody funded us. Somebody gave us some money. Okay, it's approved.
Yeah. So right now it's approved, and again, it's the same time.
Next month, not so
and
much.
If you are reading an article that says it's not approved, that's because it went out of style for 30 years and then came back. So take a lot of things with a grain of salt. Do your research. Don't believe me or Mark or Gil. Do your own research and do what you feel is best for your family.
Or just try it. And if it kills you, well, it didn't work.
All right.
That's the thing about this that drives me crazy. Okay. If whatever mistake you make, if you boil that food for 10 minutes after you open it, if you goof up on something low acid and you boil it for 10 minutes, you probably won't get sick. Maybe you'll get sick. You will not die. The things that they tell you, oh my gosh, you're going to die from, are neutralized by cooking it for 10 minutes after you open the jar.
Well, it depends on how bad the food is, and we'll get into that, I think, next week or the week after.
That's for a topic.
If your food went bad, you can't boil death out of your jar.
You're being rude.
Yeah.
I'm on my soapbox. Right. But you're gonna die. If you are in a group, any group whatsoever, and you hear that, leave and find people who know what they're doing, because that's just a scare tactic to prevent people from preserving their own food. Okay.
All right.
Off to the box.
So before I jump in, actually, all right. Question here: how do you keep pickles crispy?
Fresh cucumbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ice water bath after you slice them, before you process them. Use something with a tannin like a oak leaf, grape leaf, bay leaf it does something with the acid. I don't really know. It's supposed to make them crispier. Pickle crisp. I've tried all of those. None of them really help. The thing that I find helps me the most is I put the jar in the refrigerator before I take the pickles and open them to eat them, because I like cold, crispy. To me, the cold ones are crispier. I can't explain the science.
My mom's recipe, which I might have posted it on your site way back in the day for bread and butter pickles. After I thin slice all the cucumbers, I salt them, then I wring them out, and my hands were cramping because I did 40 pints of bread and butter pickles. I sit there and squeeze handfuls of it to get all the water out. And then I don't know if it's after that or during the salting, I layer ice in between it. And then I do that. And then I add it. Like I got to look at the recipe again. I got the brine ready to go, and I think I mix all the pickles together in the brine and jar them up. But those things, 4 or 5 years later, they still have a crunch to them.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of
work.
Oh my
God. Yeah, you're not gonna wing that one out in 20 minutes.
You basically open kettled them, where you put them in the jar, you put the hot brine on top of them, you put the lid on and let them seal. When you process them, even in a boiling water bath, where it says just to bring them up to temp for 5 minutes to make the jars seal, that also makes them mushier than ones you don't. So
2 things came to mind before I jump over here on the upcoming schedule. The additive stuff that some people add to their applesauce, like Dr. Paula did when she was adding the bourbon to her applesauce.
The stuff you buy at the store that shall not be named, down on the corner at just about any market.
Yeah.
And so they what they were doing open kettle, and I think the fact they had the bourbon in there helped preserve it better than what because afterward you talk about that's what I should have done. And so it helped preserve it.
I mean, bourbon, the alcohol will boil off at 169 degrees.
Well,
so once you boil it, it's gone. What's left in it is sugar and acid, because alcohol is high acid.
Yeah.
And she was bringing her apples to a boil mark and then pouring it in and jarring them right away.
Yeah.
She did not. Yeah. They did not. Only the last ones in the bottom of that pan had enough time to boil off the alcohol. The first jars she pulled out of there were pretty fresh.
They had a proof rating on them.
Did they really? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess you could do the same thing.
You need to watch the
jar
video,
your apples up and throw a tablespoon of bourbon in each jar before you lit it. Shake it up real well and then put it in a water bath canner.
Yeah. Well, you need to watch the video, because there's a couple things she did that even made me go, wait. Are you, and I'm an open kettle applesauce person.
Yeah. All right. So coming up here, I'm just going to do all the ones for Monday night. This is a canning. So on the 6th is, why did my canned / store food go bad? On the 13th is cooking library. We're going to talk about good books to have in your cooking library. On the 20th is preserving ingredients. So you're preserving the ingredients you're going to use for meals later on, instead of canning the whole meal right then. What is siphoning on the 27th? Proper food freezing procedures on February 3rd. To blanch or not blanch on February 10th. And first time pressure canning on February 17th. So that's what the for the Monday night is. But coming up here for the rest of the stuff. So tomorrow night on my other channel, Gray Man Prepping, it's New Year's Eve, and we're going to cover a bunch of stuff. And anybody that goes over there, remind me within 10 minutes into the thing to do the giveaways. So I give away some Amazon gift cards.
Can you set an alarm on your phone? Just kidding.
Thursday night, I know. Okay, and so Tactical Tuesday tomorrow night is 8 p.m. Eastern. Everything's 8 p.m. Eastern except for the midnight ride, which is 10 p.m. Eastern, and that's on Thursday night. Friday, back here on Camppatton Family Compound. The topic is, I'm done with these things. And so it's going to be a bunch of things that I'm done with, and I want to hear a bunch of things that you guys are done with. I'm just done with it. No more. All right. New Year's resolutions is going to be one.
When's that one?
Friday.
Oh, I may not have my done list done yet.
Saturday on Gray Man Prep Pros. Saturday on Gray Man Prepping, we're going to talk about imports and tariffs. The costs are going up, and I recommend alternatives, and I talk about why it's necessary. And then I already named what's coming up on next Monday is the why did my canned and stored food go bad? So
Yeah, sure. Anyway,
right.
I've seen your videos, Kaylin, but I get it.
All right, everyone. Thanks for coming in. And if you know someone who's just going to be starting water bath canning, yeah, we went kind of far afield a couple times, but I think we covered some good points for them, especially in the beginning there. On especially when we're talking about the rolling boil and stuff. Recommend they watch something like ours here and learn how to do it. And so,
hey, Tammy,
yes.
one last question, Tammy.
Yes.
Tell me about blue garlic. Have you ever seen
perfectly
blue?
Normal. It's
I know.
perfect. It can be blue, it can be green, it can be pink.
Why?
And it's just a chemical reaction that what the soil nutrients had, and when the garlic is exposed to the vinegar or it is boiled, it changes in color.
We had that 1 gallon jar of garlic dills. We lost our minds because every clove of garlic turned bright neon blue.
Mm-hmm.
We were calling friends, family, everybody to figure out what is going on. And one of my, actually was the realtor that sold us our house and gave us this recipe. We finally called her and she just laughed. She's like, you got blue garlic. You're fine. Trust me. And after about a couple of weeks, it went back to garlic color again.
Yeah.
So just in case everybody ever experiences blue garlic or a funky colorful garlic.
Good for a newbie. Good for a newbie to know too, because that is something that scares people. They think that they've done something wrong, or they have some weird additive in their food, or
what was in there? Why did my garlic turn blue? I'm gonna die. Yeah.
Oh, for those that are interested, coming up here in about 4 minutes, Cold War Prepper is I didn't save it up there. He's starting a new book reviewing on your prepper pantry. So that's a Cold War Prepper. I don't have the link here right now, so you can look it up and head on over there. All right.
All right.
Thanks everyone for coming in.
Have a good night.
And